All right, welcome friends to the newly rebranded Make Monday Magic Again. So I've been doing these calls for the last few weeks and I decided to continue them because it's been so fun to be able to connect with so many of y'all and just have this space at the beginning of the week to really set us up for success. So I wanted to just take a moment here today to share like what these calls are about, what you can expect. And if you're finding this video somewhere in the future on the internet, how you can sign up to join us live. And for anyone who doesn't know me, hi, my name is Emily. I am a teacher, a coach, and a business mentor. And it's my mission to help you live and work more on your own terms. So I decided to start doing these calls. Actually, I was inspired by a session that I had with a client. She asked me, what is one way that I can build momentum in my business? And the response that I gave her, I realized I needed this advice too. What I told her was that you needed to commit some certain time each week to work on your work, whether you have clients coming in and opportunities coming in and work coming in or not. And this is something that came up in a workshop that I led yesterday. Your business isn't going to feel like a business if you're not treating it like such. So these calls in particular are an opportunity for us to come together. There usually will be in something that I have to teach or share, or something that I'm working on that week that I'll share. But then really it's an opportunity for us to sit together and brain dump everything that we want or need to do for our businesses and for our work and also for our lives during the week, and have a system for organizing that. So there is a separate video where I walk through that process more. You can find it on my YouTube. It's called Monday Hour One. I'll also, when I post this to YouTube, I will link that up. But like I said, I'm going to continue these calls indefinitely, who knows how long. And I'd love to connect with, all of y'all. Come for one, come every week. I hope that they will be helpful. So for today, there were two things that I wanted to share. So something that I've mentioned in a previous video is that I listen to, part of my weekly setup is also tuning into the astrology for the week. I listen to a podcast by Chani Nicholas, and that you can find on her app, Chani. Highly recommend, love it. And throughout the years, there's been different astrologers or astrology sites that I tune into because I just like to know what's going on with the stars. That's helpful for me. If that's not your jam, totally cool. But that's actually not why I wanted to share about this today. I went for a walk before this call and I was listening to the astrology for the week ahead. And the way that she presented it in the podcast didn't fully resonate with me. So this week, I'm enrolling in my business coaching container, the Intuitive Business Accelerator. I'm feeling very excited, very lit up, very much like things are flowing and things are expanding and like anything is possible. And the takeaway from the podcast was that it might be a week of grieving. It might be a week of challenge because of these two specific planetary shifts that are happening. Now, that might still turn out to be true. Who knows? And I'll talk about what exactly those two shifts are. But I know enough about astrology, and what I love about astrology is that you can take, sometimes you'll listen to an astrologer, you'll read a horoscope, and it will land deeply with you and allow you to see something within yourself that you didn't see before. But in this situation, I needed to say that actually isn't resonating for me. But I know enough about this astrology that I can see how it actually is supporting me in this moment. And as I shared in a previous video, it just feels good to know like, okay, this actually is supporting me. That my birth chart is supporting me in my endeavors. The current astrology in the sky is like helping me in what I'm looking to do this week, this month, this year. And if you're interested in learning more about astrology from this like very personal, you get to digest it and process it and learn about it in your own way, I think you'd love working with me in my group coaching container, Your Stellar Center, and you can find more about that on my website. So specifically what's happening this week, and this is the week of, I had to look at my phone, September 13th, 2021, Venus is entering Scorpio and Mars is entering Libra. Venus is our planet of love, of connection, of beauty, of peacemaking, and Scorpio is the sign all about intensity and truth, and also about death and transformation. So one way that this is interpreted is that this energy, this sign and this planet don't really get along so well together. There's combinations in astrology of things that work like kind of go hand in hand, but also placements that are a little bit more challenging. And something that we've talked about in Your Stellar Center is that the challenging placements are not a bad thing, because that's where we learn. That's where we grow. It's like the little irritation that causes the pearl to grow. And so how this placement, this Venus into Scorpio transit was interpreted was that this energy might be impatient, it might be intense, it might be really painful. And again, I'm not saying that that is not true. I haven't lived the whole week, but I'm taking it in a different way, in that this is a really beautiful opportunity to go in and find truth and have really truthful, deep connections, which like I'm here for. I'm like, I love that. I hate the surface level stuff. So let's go. And then also Mars into Libra is another placement. We say it's a placement, a planet in its fall. It's not or in its detriment. Fall is a different thing. But if we think about Mars, Mars is our planet of action, of aggression. It's the warrior. Libra is the peacemaker. So these two, like at face value, can be like, oh, we can see how they might butt heads, where this might cause some friction or discomfort. But I'm also choosing to see it in a different way. Libra, like with Venus, can often speak to our relationships often with the other. And Mars, yes, it can be our aggression. It can be the things that we go to war against, but it can also be our passion and where we move forward. And so I'm interpreting this as it's a really great opportunity to move forward in relationships. So again, I'm here for all of this. And this is also how I'm approaching the enrollment for my program. As I shared in yesterday's workshop where I opened up enrollment, I'm approaching this from a place of deepening connections. And if the program is a right fit, awesome. I'm happy to share about it and happy to welcome you in. But also if it's not a right fit, I'd still love to connect with folks that are in my network in this deeper way. So that's the astrology. I hope that this was helpful for you and just an interesting spin. And again, like there's no bad planet placements. There's no bad astrology. It's just learning to work with it. And one person's interpretation might not always ring true to you. So with that, perhaps this gives you like a fresh way to look at your week. Again, things like relationships are definitely highlighted now, but since we're also in Virgo season, a lot of those themes might be highlighted as well. And I have a post on my blog on both Virgo and Libra, so you can check that out if you're not really sure what's up. Let's get into our weekly setup process. So again, if you missed what this is all about, you can pause this video and go check out that one. Basically, we're brain dumping everything that we want and need to do for the week, both professional and personal, into some space. I do it in a Google Doc. You can do it on a piece of paper. And then I organize my things based on categories. And I also organize mine this week based on day, because I am going through a program enrollment. So there's a lot that's happening each day. But organize it in a way that feels good for you. And then the second step of this is that picking out one or two things that are your big rocks. There's another video on big rocks on my YouTube. One or two things that are your big rocks, which is what you're focusing on for the week. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put some music on. If you don't like my music, mute it. We'll take the next 7 minutes or so to brainstorm and brain dump and organize and get inspired. And then if anyone live wants to share what they're working on this week, great. And if not, we'll just wrap from there. All right, let me put on, this is a song that I am kind of obsessed with recently. And when I play it on YouTube, it usually like YouTube picks it up, or when I post this to YouTube, YouTube picks it up and then we'll link you to the song. So if you like it, you can check it out. Can you hear it? Okay, let's take another 2 or 3 minutes. How we doing? Great. Thumbs up. Love it. Um, so I want to share what my big rocks are, and they're actually like pretty important that I get do them today. And that is, well, big rock number one is being calm and connected through this enrollment period. That's like just for the whole week. That's how I want to feel. And that's the frequency of this launch that I want to embody. But like the practical items, as far as really important things that need to get done, are I still need to finalize the payment setup for the Intuitive Business Accelerator and the like initial onboarding that folks get when they enroll. These are like I like to say this is like the container for holding new clients coming in. If you don't have payment set up, if you don't have contracts ready to be signed, it is hard to, well, it's really hard to launch a program, because especially if you're going to have more than one person coming in at a time. But to me, this just says like, it's like an energetic sign, like I'm open for business, versus just posting about it on the internet, like actually having the systems in place to receive clients and to make sure, especially for this, like for me, the Intuitive Business Accelerator it's an investment for folks. It's a big like yes to themselves. And I want them to feel like excited as soon as they say yes, as soon as they sign up, as soon as they put in their like payment information. So that's on my priority to-do list today, because I have some chats scheduled with folks who are interested later this afternoon and this evening. So yeah, Ms. Court, do you want to share anything while you're here, what your big rock is for the week? I don't know if you can unmute yourself.
I will try to. Yeah. So I spent some time like thinking about this last night. So I had a lot of my like list kind of in mind. Like I feel like last night was more like the magic part of it. Like I pulled my tarot card, I like set some intentions for the week. I talked with my husband about like our meals and like those kinds of things. So this was a nice time to like kind of just put it all together, like put the to-do list part. So all of that being said, my kind of like my big rock. So the big thing that came through for me yesterday in the workshop was like, I need to have, like, I've kind of been thinking I can be a full-time stay-at-home mom and grow a business. And to me, like now I'm recognizing that's treating my business like a hobby. And so I need some, at least well, definitely not full-time. I need some part-time childcare.
Yeah.
So my big rock for this week is either just finding what that is, or at least like manifesting, like coming up with the vision for what I want with childcare. Like what would be ideal? Who am I looking for? How do I want that to look? Because there's a lot of anxiety around it, but it's important. So that's like my focus for the week.
I love that. And that's a big realization to have. Sometimes we need to take that step and like set up that extra space. You can be an amazing mom and also a business owner and someone who's very present and engaged and a part of your child's life. And also there's only so many hours in the day. And especially with a little one, like if they're just around, it's going to be hard to focus. So I love having that intention of either having a plan or like starting to see what that could look like for you.
Exactly. And I think I heard you say the words like for you is like calm and connected. And I'm definitely feeling like trying to like call that in. And also the word that I've been like thinking about lately is cadence, like trying to come up with a cadence for the week. And yeah, I think by outsourcing part-time childcare, then I can be more calm and connected when I am with her. It's not as much like, oh, let me rush and fit this in, or okay, she's doing this, I can do this or that. Like kind of segregating out that time and creating more of a cadence.
I love that. I love that word too. Like that's finding your flow with your work.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for making the time. To anyone else watching this video, thanks for making the time. We hope to see you next Monday at noon Eastern. Yeah, and wishing everyone all the best as we move through this beautiful new week. All right, friends, I'll see you soon.